evening. We are excited to host you and to go through this webinar for Ask Your Wakili with you. Before we go any further, we can bow our heads for a word of prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we come before your presence this evening with thanksgiving in our hearts for the gift of life and for the gift of one another. Dear Heavenly Father, may this be a well of wisdom where we will teach as we learn, everlasting God. May you be with our residents, our investors, and our potential investors as they watch. May you guide them and may you bless them. In Jesus' name we do pray, just and believing. Amen. Yes, thank you so much for joining us this evening. We are excited. It's a new month. We are really, really excited. And before I can speak about what the month holds for us, I will give Diana an opportunity to introduce herself.
Okay, thank you, Alice, for having me. It's a pleasure to be back here again. My name is Diana Wariara. We work closely with Savo. We sit on the panel of lawyers. So I work at Fidel Mwaki and Company Advocates. We are situated in Westlands, Carlson Towers, second floor.
Thank you so much, Dana, for coming and for doing this with us. This is yet another year. We've not been on the screens of our viewers this year, but we're glad to be back. This year, as I said, we're very excited. It's a new year. It is the month of love. We're very excited for this month. February is a month where you get to show more love. So this month we have a lot for you in store, so please stay tuned as I tell you some of the events that we will be doing, where you're most welcome to come and join us. One, we will be having an event that has been circulating on social media. It's called The Affair. So we're inviting you to come and enjoy love, music, good food, and goals with us here at Savo. So we want to celebrate the month of love with you. We want you to come with your loved ones, your spouses, your siblings, your parents, to just come and enjoy and share the moment with them. It will be on the 11th of February. It will begin at 3 p.m. And it will be at the Bomas of Kenya. So kindly do not mark the date, and the charges per head is 1,000 Kenya shillings that will be paid to a till number that is on your screen now. So kindly do not fail to come. Book your slots, get in touch with your fair partner, let them know that you want to come for this event called The Affair. It will be at the Bomas of Kenya, the 11th day of February this month. Don't fail to come. So don't leave. There's a lot in store. I'll tell you, there's so many events this month. There's so much you can do with us here at Savo this month. So please don't stay with us. Today's webinar, we want to hear from you. Want to hear more from you, more on what you would want to know from us this year. What kind of content you would want us to create for you this year. And that's why the episode of today is Ask My Wakili. It is, what are your legal issues or legal handles that you're facing in the real estate space? Yeah, so basically that is what we will be doing today. I can give Diana a chance to just introduce the topic for today.
Okay, thank you, Alice. So as Alice had mentioned, today is going to be an open forum. We want to get your questions and just number one, provide you with information, clarity, so that as you start this investment journey, that you're more comfortable, you're going in more confident, because you have clarity on the questions that you had or the doubts you might have had. So it's just more of creating awareness and giving you the much needed information that you might want to have on a certain part of an investment.
Yes.
Yeah.
And here at Savo, we are all about FIRE, and FIRE is Financial Independence, Retire Early. So kindly, when you join the live, please drop your fire emoji and let us know where you're watching us from, and let us know what kind of content you want us to create more for you this year when it comes to the legal space. What do you want to know? What is blur when it comes to investment? What is this that is really not clear for you? And before we go any further and begin to look in on your questions, I can just see who has joined. I can see Kawanjiro, who's dropped the fire emoji. Thank you so much. I can see LNW, who's also dropped the fire emoji. Thank you so much. I can see Kelvin Masharia, who's dropped the fire emoji. Thank you so much. I can see Cynthia Cheruto, also a Savorite, who's dropped the fire emoji. I can see Lucy Nams, who's also dropped the fire emoji. I can see Salma Hussein. I can see Martha Wambugu. I can see Tom, who's watching us from Kilileshwa, who's also dropped the fire emoji. So kindly let us know what you want to hear from us this year, and kindly send in your questions. And to provide more clarity, in the spirit of providing clarity, we will just maybe we will go through the investment journey, how you come into Savo, and how you begin your investment journey. Here at Savo, we are passionate about enabling you achieve financial independence. We say our investors are at the core of the business model, that it is for you we exist, and that is why this kind of information is very important for us to let you know. So please do let us know what you would want to hear from us. As I had previously said, being the month of love, we're showing so much love, and we're putting out so much information and so much opportunity for you and your loved ones to be able to invest, for you and your loved ones to be able to hoop on this journey and to be able to enjoy the benefits of investing. So on the second item for today, we have an ebook. We have an ebook for all of you. A link will be dropped on the comment section. This ebook, the tagline says, it's not a solo affair. We want you to come. We want you to enjoy the journey of investment with your partner, with your friends, with your sisters, with your siblings, with anyone around you. They say when you get a good thing, please find a friend and tell them and let them know that I have found something and it works for me. So here at Savo, we really encourage you that once you find this investment and it will work out for you, let someone else know. So we are also encouraging you to read this ebook and understand why it's not a solo affair. Yeah. So over on to today's topic. So here at Savo, as I have said, we are very passionate about investors, and we will go out there, we will source for you, and when you come in, we will connect you to someone called a fire partner. Basically, a fire partner is someone who will hold your hand and walk this financial independence journey with you. They will tell you everything about the project. They will book your unit, and then they will hand you over to our legal partners, who are our lawyers. And this is the point where you get a document drafted for you in the name of the sale agreement. And at this point, Diana can tell us more about the sale agreement.
Okay. Thank you, Alice. Just like Alice has mentioned, that your first point of contact is with your fire partner, and after you and your fire partner come and you agree on a particular unit, a payment plan, then the next step is to introduce you to the lawyers. So at this particular point, our job is to make sure that the legal documentation for your transaction is in order. Yeah. So what happens at first is, in some instances, we usually issue offer letters, and basically the offer letter just gives a general overview of how the transaction will run. Yeah. So it says that, as Savo, are the developer, we want to sell you an apartment at this purchase price, and this is the payment plan. And an offer letter, what it does is now it ushers us into the agreement for sale. Yes. So the agreement for sale is a binding legal document between now the developer and the investor. And what it does, it now reduces the terms of the agreement into writing. Yes. So basically, some of the key things that it has, number one, it has the details of both parties. Mm-hmm. That is now the particular project and now the investor's details. It also captures details of that particular apartment. It provides for details of the purchase price and how that purchase price will be paid. It also provides for what happens after Savo has completed paying the has completed building the development, and you as an investor want to now take possession of your apartment, and what happens when you finished paying the purchase price. Yes. So it covers all those scenarios, and the importance of the agreement for sale is it's the document that governs the relationship between the investor and the developer during the construction period. So it just makes sure that each party performs the obligations as agreed. Yes. So the key obligation of the developer is to build, and the key obligation of the purchaser is to pay as and when agreed. So if your installments are on the 5th of each month, then you're expected to make those payments on or before the 5th day of every month.
Yes.
And the developer is expected to, you know, build and give updates, you know, within the agreed upon timeline.
Yes.
So until like the development is complete, this is the document that both parties will come back to refer to make sure that we are in line, where everyone is performing as expected. Yeah.
Thank you so much for clarifying. Maybe over to you, Diana. Again, you have dealt with this for a very long time. You've been in assistance you have provided assistance for investors for a very long time. Yes, there's a clause that introduces and everything that talks about payment. But in your conversations with investors and interactions, what are some of the clauses that are a bit difficult for investors to understand, because we are all not in the legal field. So sometimes it's not as easy as we might think. So what you could outline some of the clauses. Okay,
thank you, Alice. I think that's a key question. I think one of the key questions that we've been getting in the office when dealing with investors is the type of title they'll receive. And this question is actually it's actually a very good question to ask, because the titling regime in Kenya recently changed in 2020-2021. So prior to 2020, what used to happen is you'd be given a sublease. And what happened is the title for the entire development was held by the management company, where investors were given shares. But now that that position has since changed. So what happens now is investors are receiving sectional titles, and there's no holding of the title for the entire development in common with other investors. Each investor has their own title, and they can deal with the property as they wish to deal with it. So that's something key, that's a key question we've been receiving. And what we usually do is we just walk them through the new changes that came about, which I believe we've highlighted in previous videos, but we can go over just briefly for those who might be joining us for the first time today. So what happens is, when the development is complete, the first thing that the developer does is they undertake a process called georeferencing. So essentially, georeferencing is where the developer engages a registered surveyor to come to the development and undertake a survey of the development and the apartments in the development. So once they do this, they'll create sectional plans for each of the floors in the development. And now that will have the details of the square footage, where the apartment is located, the typology, all that. It has all that in those plans that they develop. And once they develop this, they're going to go and take them to the county offices. So for instance, if it's like a project that's near completion, like Savo Sunset Phase 2, they'll take it to Kiambu County, and they'll have the plans registered there. And then after that, they'll now take the plans to Survey of Kenya and now document it in Survey of Kenya. So after the plans have been now taken to Survey of Kenya, then now the surveyor will come back to the developer, and they'll tell them, here are the sectional plans for this particular development. So once the developer receives the same, then the next step is to now go to the lands registry. So at the lands registry, we'll submit the sectional plans together with an application for registration of sectional titles. And when the registrar receives our application, what they do is they close the title for the entire development, and now they now create titles for all apartments, because you can't have two titles in respect to the same property. So they need to close this title. They need to now close the register for this the title for the main development, and now issue titles for the apartments. So once they do that, they'll also concurrently create what we call a corporation. So the purpose of the corporation is mainly to manage the common areas of the development. And now each investor is given what we call a unit factor, which is like essentially a share in the corporation. So that now determines like their ownership in the corporation. So now the main purpose of the corporation is just to oversee management of common areas in the development. So that's now the difference between now what happened before and now.
What is happening
Yeah,
now.
so the purpose of the sectional titles is just to make sure that we all have like a streamlined titling, a streamlined, it's to streamline the titling for sectional properties, so that, you know, previously with subleases you'd find subleases for different developments are differ. So you'd find if I buy an apartment in here and I buy with another developer, the sublease is quite different. So it's just to make sure that there's some commonality in the types of titles that have been issued. We have an investor here who's asking, Jenny, they're asking, how long is the process of georeferencing? Okay, so, georeferencing, since it's a fairly new process that's been introduced, it's very hard to now give a definite timelines because, like I said, it's new, it's very recent. It just came in 2020, 2021. So we can say like approximately 3 months, but you know, it depends on many other factors. So what happens is, the moment we start as a project lawyers, we'll just keep the investors appraised on the progress and what's in the next legal steps.
Okay, thank you so much, Diana, for that. Someone is also asking, Salma Hussein is also asking, what is the difference when it comes to land rates in the old regime and now? Because they're asking, does the investor pay for land rates and land rents?
Yeah, so that's a very good question, Salma. So what happens is, in the old system, where you are issued with a sublease, you remember that the title for the development is held by the management company. So it was the duty of the management company to pay land rates. It was a duty of the management company to pay land rates for all investors in that development, and they would get this from the service charge. Right now with the sectional titles, since it's a title for your apartment, you're expected to pay rates and rents for your own apartment. So what happens when we go to the lands registry, they'll do what we call a rent apportionment. So they'll now go, they open the register and then they'll check for like Alice's apartment in Sunset, these are the rates that are due and this is the rent that's payable. So you'll find now that investors with a sectional title, and now that obligation has passed to them to pay the rates and the rents for themselves.
Okay, thank you so much for the clarification. They're also asking, what is the expected rate in Nairobi?
That's difficult to determine because it's usually determined by, like I said, the officials at the lands registry, and there are many factors that inform that particular decision.
Okay, thank you so much, Diana, for clarifying on the change on the ownership documents. What other clause is a bit difficult to understand or causes a lot of debate?
I'd say the next thing is also an important clause, not so difficult to understand, but maybe one that usually needs us to shed a bit light on is there is the defects liability period. So what happens is once the developer has completed the development, there's a 6 months window during which the investor is given an opportunity, during which the developer undertakes to repair any material defects in the apartment that was due to like maybe something like poor workmanship during construction of the development or so. So at that point, the 6 months starts running from the date, from the practical completion date. And it's important that the investor just takes note of this. And, you know, in case of anything, they just notify the developer. So something key to note here is there's with now Savo investors, there are those investors on the 60 months, 48 months. So you'll find for those investors, they might not have this opportunity within the 6 months. So the nice thing is that Savo now provides them with an opportunity. Once they finish paying, they do a joint inspection with Savo, and then they agree on repairs. So that's usually a clause that we usually need to shed light on, because you'll find somebody asking, so what do I do? And I'm on a 60 months payment plan. So that's one more that we usually shed light on. I think another one is usually a clause that happens, a clause where what happens if one of the parties is in breach of their obligations. So this is something that we usually provide for, and so there's a clause where if the developer doesn't complete the development within a stipulated period, what happens? So in that particular instance, what we provide for is that, you know, the purchaser will notify the developer and require them to remedy within 90 days. If the development has not been if the development still remains incomplete within that period, then the purchaser can proceed to terminate the agreement, and Savo will refund all amounts that they had paid towards the fees. I mean, towards the purchase price rather. So now on the flip side, what happens when the investor is not meeting their monthly installments? So in this particular instance, you'll find Savo will now reach out to you. They'll try and find out what's the issue. So they'll have like a negotiation period. If they're not able to find, another solution, like from moving you to a development where the payments are not so stringent, they'll just proceed to terminate and refund you the amounts you had paid towards the purchase price.
Regina here is asking, what in the contract protects the investor from a delay in delivery of the project? I think it's what you've spoken about. Or is there another clause
that protects the investor? Mostly it's just that like I'd said, the termination for breach, because now you see that's the one where if they don't meet the obligations, then you have the opportunity to terminate. But also we also have a clause that provides that, you know, in the event that the developer foresees that they may delay, they'll notify the investor in good time. So, you know, because you'll find that in this space that we are in, there are a lot of moving parts. You know, the developer might wish to complete on time, but you'll find maybe they had a challenge importing certain things, or like last year you saw the war in Ukraine really affected the real estate industry. So you'll find things like steel and things that we usually import for construction. There's a shortage or there's a delay. So in effect, it also affects the developer's obligations. And it's not that the developer didn't want to build, it's just circumstances beyond their control. So in such instances, the developer just communicates in good time to the investor, and they agree on a new completion date.
Tom here is asking, were there any other sectional properties, sectional titles issued under a previous Sectional Properties Act?
So there was an act, I think, of 1989. I'm not too sure. But now the one in 2020 now is the one that's governing all developments. Going forward.
Does it make the others null and void?
The titles that were issued under those particular regimes, not quite. So what happens is there's a transition period that was granted when this particular act came into force, because, you know, you can't just wake up one day and cancel all titles that other people had previously. So this was what we called conversion. So you find if you had another title for your apartment, you are required to apply for conversion, so that you surrender the title you have and the registry issues you with a sectional title.
Thank you so much, Dana, for the clarification. So, Tom, it's not invalid, but you need to do a conversion. You need to submit the sectional title that you have from the previous regime for an update to the according to the new regime. And then I have Ezekiel here who's tuned in. Thank you so much, Ezekiel. Kindly send in your questions, any legal concerns or matters you need clarified when it comes to investment. I can see Jay who's asking, in regards to foreigner ownership, how long are the leases, and is there a process for renewal or extension? Can it be extended at any length?
So what happens is when it comes to foreigners, generally, or rather, the law as it is, it states that foreigners can only hold titles that are leaseholds.
Yes.
And the nice thing is all
What
titles,
does leasehold mean?
a leasehold title is where the tenure or the term that's been granted up under that particular title
Yes.
is limited to 99 years,
Yes.
which is the kind of titles that are usually issued by Savo. They are 99 years from a particular date.
Yes.
So what happens is, as a foreigner, what you'll just be required to do is obtain a KRA PIN, and then we'll be able to process the title in your name.
Yes.
So when the term is about to lapse, like 5 years before the term lapses, you can apply for a renewal.
Yes.
So because you are the current owner of that particular property,
Yes.
then the first right of renewal will be granted to you.
Yes.
So what happens is you now go to the National Lands Commission and you apply for a renewal of lease. Yeah.
Okay.
So you'll be granted another 99 years.
Yeah. So the term is 99 years.
Yes,
Quite
yeah.
a long time. So Jay, I hope your question has been answered. So kindly do send in your questions. After Diana is done with you at FMC, when it comes to the sale agreement, you have signed and you've paid her legal fees. You come back to Savo, and in Savo there's a clause on the sale agreement that talks about payments, right?
Yes.
Maybe you can
Yes.
elaborate on that.
So basically what it's clause 3,
Yes.
the famous clause 3. So
Yes.
clause 3 is what provides for now payments of the purchase price.
Yes.
So essentially this clause, it has two options. You're either paying on a 20% deposit,
Yes.
or a newly introduced installment, the zero deposit that was launched last year, and it's quite famous.
Yes.
So if you're on the zero deposit, then you're just required to, pay your deposits as and when they're due. And the importance of, making your installments, doing your installments in a timely manner is that you'll find that these installments is what finance the Savo development.
Yes.
So if you're late on your installment, then that puts the developer in a tough position.
Yes.
Because now they're in a position where they have to source for the funds elsewhere.
Yes.
To build the development.
Yes.
So it basically provides that you'll pay within, and this is a payment plan that you've agreed with your fire partner.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's not something we just introduce in the agreement. It's something that's agreed upon between both parties, and we just reduce it, we put it there.
Yes.
Yeah. So you'll pay within a specific period to the nominated bank account there.
Yeah.
And I think usually give your investors a Savo right number, which
Yes.
makes it easier
For them to make
payments,
yes,
yeah.
as a unique identifier.
Yeah.
Yes. Just to add on what Dana has said, yes. Previously, if you look at our business model and you look at our payment plan has evolved over time. So Savo began its first project in Rongai, that is Laser, and in Laser it was a 1-year payment plan, close to an non-existent payment plan. It was almost a cash sale. And after that we came to 90 degrees, that is in Embakasi. And the question was, how do we get more people to begin their journey of financial aid? We introduced a longer payment plan, a 5-year payment plan, but with a 20% deposit and with interest, something we used to call license to occupy. That went on, that was in 90 degrees. It comes to Thindigwa on Kiambu Road. It comes to Corobels, the same payment plan, 5 years. There's interest, license to occupy, and there's a 20% deposit. It comes to Savo Studios. In Savo Studios, some investors who are accustomed to the old regime do the 5 years, they do the license to occupy and the 20%. But here we begin to understand that the license is really a burden on the investor, because when you don't have a tenant, the license fees accrues and it becomes your burden as an investor. So because the investor is at the core center of the business model, so how do we reduce the pain for the investor? So coming to Royal One, it was a 5-year payment plan, still a 20% deposit, but a zero interest payment plan. To mean that if you take a unit worth 1.8, you paid your 360 shillings in deposit, 360,000 Kenya shillings in deposit. What is left, you pay within the period upon which you had taken, be it 36 months, be it 48 months, or be it 60 months. But as Savo, we pride ourselves in completing our projects in 24 months or less. So if we complete the project, you continue to pay your stipulated installments, or you can bulk pay. Maybe we're invoicing you, let's say 33,000, but you decide I have money somewhere, and you can bulk pay, and you will finally get the unit. But if you're not able to do that, and you continue with your payment plan until maybe that 6 months, after the 24th month, you will continue to pay for your installments, but you will not get the rent benefit for the unit. So we did that in Royal 1, we did that in Skywalk, and we did that in every project following that. But when we came to Royal Suburbs Phase 4, just in an attempt to let more people in an attempt to remove affordability as a barrier to investment, because we're saying we want to ensure that you're not a consumer. You're not taking your money to consumerism, but you're investing for your future and your children's future and a generation's future. So we removed so now it is no interest, and now we came lower and reduced the 20 and removed the 20% deposit. So it is, you take a studio, which is our smallest unit, which goes for 1.8 million. You take it, and then you decide on your payment plan, because our financial strengths are different. You decide that I will pay it over 24 months. So you take your 1.8 and divide by 24 months, which comes to around 70-something thousand. And that is what you pay until your 24th month. If you decide, I want to take a longer payment plan, I am not able to pay the 70,000, you take your 1.8 and you divide by 60 months, and then you get to pay your 30,000 every single month for 60 months, and at the end of that, you will be the owner of this studio apartment that you began to purchase. So now in Savo, we have our 14th project, by the way, Savo Stanley. Savo Stanley is our newest project in the market. Savo Stanley is located on Kiambu Road. It's near Kiambu town. So that is our newest project. There's a link here that will connect you to your fire partner. The units are almost sold out. So you'll be connected to your fire partner, and you can discuss how to get Savo Stanley. Yes, so that is the evolvement of our payment plan.
Yes.
I can see Josephat who's asking, what happens if I don't renew the leasehold period in good time? Do I lose the property?
So what's key to note, if you don't renew the lease, what happens is the lease reverts back to the government, to GOK.
Yes.
So now it becomes the property of the government of Kenya.
It goes back to the government.
It goes back to the government.
So this is just to make sure that you're disciplined. You're disciplined in your investment and everything that concerns your investment. I can see Jenny who's asking, where are no Savorite unique numbers for? When will they be issued with time? So Jenny, the unique Savorite numbers is what you are given by your fire partner when they booked the unit for you. So when you go to your statement, on your top left, there's a number that begins with 2 zeros. It's a 6-digit number. That is your Savorite number. It's your unique identifier. So when you're going to make a payment in the bank, this is what you put as your reference. So this is how we are able to locate the payment on our end. If you call anyone and tell them I am Jenny and my Savorite number is 0000000, they're able to log into the system, get your statement, and they're able to assist you. So it is basically your unique identifier here in Savo. We can go any other clause you would like to elaborate on.
I don't think that there's any other clause, but I think a lot of the questions we receive at the onset when we get an investor is also generally about the project, and just making sure that Savo have actually taken the requisite steps to make sure that they are going to build this particular this particular development. Yes. So at that point, when we see that kind of those questions coming from investors, we know that one thing they want to do is their due diligence, which is important, and it's something that we've spoken about quite a number of times here. And basically the due diligence is just crossing your T's and dotting your I's. Yeah. So some of the things we'll share with you to make sure that the investor is comfortable, the investor knows who are the people behind the project, the investor knows that the government has given a go-ahead to this project, is there's in respect to the developer, we'll give you the certificate of incorporation, and we can also share with you the company search. So the company search will give you more insight into who are the directors in the company, who are the shareholders, and you know the directors are the ones who are responsible for the day-to-day running.
Yes.
So you'll want to see does Savo have shares in this particular company, and who are the directors in charge of running this particular company. So once you see that, the other things we'll share with you is now there's construction approvals. So there's the building plans, there's the NEMA, there's National Construction Authority approval.
Yes.
So such approvals show that the developer has gone the extra mile to approach these authorities and to give who are just basically giving a go-ahead to construction of this particular development. Something else is now the change of user that happens at county. Before you start building, it's important that the developer applies for a change of user, especially if like is the case with most properties, it was a property that allowed, maybe for residential, we need to get a change of user to allow for multi-residential.
Yes.
Yeah, so such documents show you that the developer is taking the requisite steps, and because there are no documents that are easy to get, you become assured that they are committed to building this particular development. Yeah, so essentially those are the due diligence documents, but there are also instances where you might find we don't have certain documents, or maybe they might be taking a bit of time to issue.
Yes.
And in such instances we usually just communicate the challenge or the delay, or what's happening on the ground.
Yes.
So that's in respect to construction. There's no in respect to the property itself.
Yes.
And what we usually give is a copy of the title together with the land search.
Yes.
So and you as an investor have the opportunity of going and carrying out your own independent land search,
yes,
which will now show you who is the registered proprietor of the land, and it will show you who is the registered proprietor of the land and whether there are any charges or restrictions that have been registered against the land.
Yes.
Yeah, and what you'll find in most instances is the Savo properties are clean.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Diana, for providing clarity on that. So we keep on saying here that as an investor, putting your hard-earned money into something, kindly ensure that you do your due diligence. Kindly ask, so that's why we have lawyers. We have lawyers to be able to guide you in this process. Kindly ask as many questions as you can. If you're not sure, kindly ask for clarity. They are here, they are able, and they are willing to really assist you and walk this journey with you. Diana, we've gotten to a point where we are paying. Just to shed some light to the investor. So as you've said, in the Savo business model, I require you to pay in the stipulated time that you discussed with your fair partner.
Yeah.
One, this is to build discipline for you as an investor, that I know that this amount is due every month or every quarter towards my investment. So one, it is to build discipline for you, and two, it is to ensure that under this sale agreement, we both have obligations, and that you meet this part of your bargain to ensure that I will meet my other part of the bargain. So sometimes life becomes hard, and an investor is not able to pay. Here at Savo, we use Warren Buffett's rules of investment. One, that we ensure that you shall not lose your money. And number two, do not forget rule number one. So sometimes we have conversations with investors. So you will come as an investor, maybe you pay for maybe a year, and then you get into the second year and you begin to struggle. So you will receive a call from an account manager here at Savo, and they will let you know, this is what I have been invoicing you, you stopped paying at this point, and these are your number of arrears. And then they will do a restructuring for you. They will let you know that you have taken, for example, a 2-bedroom at, let's say, Savo Sunset, but with the kind of amount you have paid and the period remaining for the project to complete, you can take a studio and you will be good to go. You will be set and you will not be in arrears anymore. And they will let you know, if you are paying, for example, 50,000 a month, can this go to 30,000 a month? Just to try and restructure and offer financial advice for you to be able to move on this journey. if, for example, you've taken, we have our almost, the project we are almost handing over to investors is Savo Sunset 1. In Savo Sunset 1, for example, you have taken a studio and you're behind payment, you're struggling, it's hard. So you're advised, for example, to take a studio, the same typology, but in a project that is a bit far, so that you have a little bit of time in terms of head start. But sometimes life is unpredictable, and maybe the restructuring, the downsizing does not work for you. So there's a clause in the agreement that is a termination clause.
Yes.
Maybe shed some light on it.
Okay. Like Alice has stated, the termination clause for the investor only kicks in after, the negotiation period has happened, and it's become quite clear that the only way that you can move forward from this is if both parties go their own way.
Yes.
So in that instance, what it provides for is now Savo, the developer, will now, ask you to either remedy the breach. If you're not in a position to remedy the breach, then they'll issue you with purchasers, with a vendor's termination notice.
Yes.
And once they issue you this notice, then they'll refund you the sums that you had paid towards the purchase price within 90 days.
Yes.
So on the expiry of 90 days, you'll have received the amounts that were paid towards the purchase price, and you now have your money, and now Savo can now market the apartment to third parties.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for shedding light on that. And also, as Diana has mentioned, a refund will take place within 90 days. And the reason it takes place within 90 days is because, of course, this money has been used for something at site, to buy a bag of cement, to pay a site worker. So we need time to get back the money and refund it to you. But within 90 days, for sure, you will have received the money in your account. But we do not want to lose you, so we will engage you more. And when it gets difficult, kindly do reach out to us and let us know it has gotten difficult. This is my kind of situation, and we'll offer you alternative solutions based on the situation you currently are at.
Yeah.
So Diana, we pay our installments. 24 months are over, we complete, and now there is a completion in a handover process. What are the documents an investor should look out for as completion documents?
Okay.
Yes.
I think the stage that we are talking about right now is you finished paying within 24 months, and the development is ready.
Yes.
So like we had mentioned earlier at the start of the webinar, is there's what we call the practical completion certificate.
Yes.
So this is what's issued by the, this is a document that's issued by the architect, saying that the development has been built in accordance with the building plans.
Yes.
And the developer will now go ahead and obtain what we call a certificate of occupation, which is now issued by the respective county in which that particular project is situated, and it basically provides that these units are safe for occupation, and they were built in accordance to the building plans and all that. So once you receive this document, then something that the investor needs to be keen on is now the defects liability period is running.
Yes.
So from this date, there is 6 months within which any defects need to be reported to the developer so that they can remedy.
Yes.
So at this point, also something that will be happening is the developer will be undertaking georeferencing of the development to get the sectional plans, and then subsequently to register the sectional titles, which will subsequently transfer to the investors. Yeah.
Yes.
So once the development is complete, and because these processes can take a bit of time, what Savo does is if you finished paying your purchase price, they now will now come back into the picture and will tell you there's what we call stage 2 costs. And essentially these are utility costs, and they comprise of 3 items. There's service charge deposit, the cost of installation of water meter and electricity meters. And before you take possession of your apartment, you're encouraged to clear these costs with us, which we will then forward to Savo, and they'll credit to your account. So once you've paid the stage 2 cost, then you're entitled to possession of your apartment, and you can start receiving rent on your apartment, and you can also engage Savo Lifestyle to manage your apartment for you. And when you get these documents, we'll also, on the other hand, we'll also be chasing up the registration of the sectional titles and the, so that we can now transfer the apartment title to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Diana, for that. Just to echo what Diana has said, after you've received all the completion documents, you will begin to be engaged by the property management company of Savo. So here at Savo, we know financial independence is not until you begin to earn returns from the investment that you made, and you earn passive returns, because all of us are busy with other things, and for you to be able to build a portfolio of investments is when you're not stressed, you're not hands-on, you're not feeling like this is a raw deal for me. And that is why we have Savo Lifestyle. Savo Lifestyle is the company that ensures that you earn while you sleep. This is the company that will ensure that we will first of all, we will give you a property management agreement, which is like basically that outlines my terms as a property manager and your terms as the investor. So what is your end of the bargain and what is the end of my bargain for this contract? And then we will move ahead after the signing of the contract. We'll move ahead and begin to source a tenant for your unit. Well, once we find a tenant for your unit, the tenant will come into the unit. We will notify you that you now have a tenant. Your tenant will be invoiced. Deductions we will let you know when the tenant is coming in after they have made a booking, and then deductions will be made towards the invoice amount that the resident has paid. For example, if it is a studio going at a gross rent of 13,000 per month, you will be charged service charge. As Diana was speaking, she spoke about a management company. She spoke about a corporation. This is the company that is in charge of common area management in the apartment. So you will be charged a service fee. This goes towards servicing of lifts, cleaning of swimming pools in the projects that have swimming pools, paying of security guards, paying for cleaning and all other things that ensure that a building is running, paying of electricity for common areas, such things. And you will be deducted service charge, and also there's another fee that applies called management fee. Basically, management fee is for the running of your apartment. So we've spoken about common area. So common area is sorted. After that, your individual apartment is sorted. That is everything going on inside the apartment, be it the running of the resident, taking care of the resident, ensuring that the resident is happy, because only if the resident is happy will you receive a return. And in our model here at Savo, we ensure that you as an investor receive your rent by the 10th of every month that your unit is occupied. So we pay you by the 10th, and then we are left running after the resident, ensuring that they pay within the month. If they're not able to pay within the month, we try and restructure a payment plan for them. If it is not possible, we evict them, and then we get another tenant for your unit. So basically, Lifestyle is the vehicle that ensures that you will earn while you sleep, that you will receive your returns as passively as possible. Yes, so that is just to shed light on who Savo Lifestyle is. Yes. So Diana, I have started earning rent for my unit, but my title maybe is not yet out. Do you provide maybe updates on where we are at with the process, or how is the investor able to know that this is what FMC is doing for me to ensure that I get my title? Yeah.
So one key thing which we usually do is we keep the investor appraised on our progress and the processes and where we are at during this time, especially after the practical completion date, because it's important to have a title to your apartment. It allows you to do many things with it. Yes. So and it also it's also the document that shows that I am the true owner of this particular apartment.
Sure.
So what happens is we provide regular updates, and in case you need any clarification, we're always available on email or on call. You can just reach out to any of us, and we'll provide you with the necessary clarity. But we also work very hard behind the works to make sure that these documents are delivered in a timely fashion.
Yes.
And what happens is after we've registered and we've done the transfers at the after we've registered the sectional titles at the lands registry, now we'll be able to now do the transfers. So we'll reach out to the investor, tell them to come to our offices to sign documents, or we can send them over to them and they can sign the documents, and once they forward to us the requisite documents, we're able to now lodge them at the lands registry and now have the sectional title issued in their name. So after the sectional title has been issued in their name, we'll reach out to them to come collect their title together with other documents that we call completion documents. And completion documents are basically documents that are proof that we did the transaction, that we met our obligations, and that the developer also met their obligations and they also did certain things. So part of the completion documents would include now the sectional title. It would have the booking form to show that we took the documents to the lands registry, the KRA payment slip in respect to payment of stamp duty, and things like the certificate of occupation, the practical completion certificate. These are documents that basically show proof that the transaction was done in the right way. Yeah. Okay. So they are also very important documents, and what we encourage is that the investors come to our offices and they pick the documents from our offices, so that we can go through each and every one of the documents as we explain, and we do a checklist so that you confirm that you've received all documents.
On to the last one, maybe stamp duty. Does with the change of regime, is there anything different about stamp duty? And even before we can say what is different, maybe just for the ones who are not aware, just to introduce to them and let them know what is stamp duty.
Okay, so stamp duty is it's a property tax that is charged on when you're acquiring a property, and it's usually for now apartments, like Savo apartments, it's 4% of the value of the property. So what happens when the transaction is starting, so that you can be able to budget and plan your finances, we give you an estimate of stamp duty. And what has happened is the estimate may either be what happens is sometimes the government valuer may either accept the value we've submitted, or they might say that this property is valued higher on completion, which is the case with most Savo developments. You'll find that the value of the property goes up on completion. So if the property is valued higher, we might require you to top up on stamp duty so that we can proceed with registration. But stamp duty is paid to KRA, and what happens is once we pay to KRA is we'll share with you the bank slip, and the KRA officer will also endorse that bank slip to show that they received the funds.
Okay, thank you so much, Diana, for clarifying on stamp duty. So it's very important for you to pay stamp duty for processing of your ownership documents. So once the project is complete, please be keen on paying stamp duty, because of course, as Diana has said, it's a real estate asset. It appreciates in value. So be keen and be disciplined enough to plan for it. As I had previously said, that this month we have a lot in store for you guys. So this Saturday, being the 4th, we'll have an event at Savo Skywalk. Savo Skywalk is our new now old baby letting in the market. It's already fully let. It was our newest, but now we are ready to welcome Sunset One. So it's Skywalk is fully occupied. Skywalk is on Wanye Road, on Gong Road. So we will be having a big party in conjunction with our residents and Mama Rocks. It will be this Saturday, the 4th of February. It will be at Skywalk. So kindly tell a friend, tell a colleague, tell your children, your young teenage daughters and sons to come and just engage with lifestyle, to come and enjoy the lifestyle, to come and see what is this that we call lifestyle, to come and see the way of life of the young aspirational urbanites of Savo. So kindly mark your dates. So today I've mentioned 2 dates. I've mentioned the 11th, which the 11th date of February, and I've also mentioned the 4th, which is this Saturday. Kindly mark your calendars and do not miss. Over to you, Diana. Thank you so much for always doing this with me. I always know you're a call away to help me educate and enlighten our investors on all legal matters concerning their investment. Okay. Personally, I am grateful, and Savo too is grateful. Before we wind up, just a chance for you to let them know who is Diana and where does she partner with Savo at, and what does this FMC farm do.
Okay,
yes.
Thank you, Alice, and thank you, Savo, and all Savorites for joining in and just coming to sit with us and engage with us. I am Diana Wariara. I work at FMC Advocates. We're one of the project lawyers for Savo, and we've worked with Savo from the get-go. So some of our key areas, some of our practice areas include we do a lot of real estate and construction advisory for developers like Savo. We also do conveyancing, and we advise on corporate commercial transactions and employment law. So should you want to visit our offices, you can find us at Carlson Towers, 2nd floor. It's within Mpisha area. And if you'd want to reach out to us, you can drop us an email at FMC Group, FMC being in caps together with the G. So FMC Group at fmcadvocates.com. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Diana, once again for doing this with us, and thank you to the whole team at FMC. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in and joining us and doing this with us. I hope this was insightful. I hope this was helpful. You can go over the videos we did last year. We did a lot of legal content. We did due diligence. We did sale agreement clauses. We did the difference between the leases and the sectional properties. We did everything you will need to know. You'll need to know about the legal aspect of your investment. We advised you to go and do your due diligence. We told you what are the red flags to look out for when you're doing your due diligence. So kindly do not miss the opportunity to just go over our channel. Just go and look at the videos that we have done. Listen to each one of them. We even did a very important topic on estate planning. We did it with Fidel of FMC and Hassan of GHM. There are a lot of topics, very informative topics. So do not miss a chance to just go over our videos and see what we have been doing in the legal space. Do not also hesitate to let us know what you want to see more of this year. We are here, we are ready, and we are willing to hear from you on the same. Until next time, thank you so much, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Owning your first apartment in Nairobi has never been easier. It's simple. With zero deposit and 0% interest rate, you can pay as little as 30,000 per month for up to 5 years. Just divide the price by the number of months you want to pay. Visit www.savo.ke to learn more. Owning your first apartment in Nairobi has never been easier. It's simple. With zero deposit and 0% interest rate, you can pay as little as 30,000 per month for up to 5 years. Just divide the price by the number of months you want to pay. Visit www.savo.ke to learn more.
Your money will never do better than what your mindset will allow. Maybe your budget is out of whack. This year, we're gonna try something hopefully fun.
You'll win a year of financial and investing coaching from yours truly.
We are here to help people save, earn more, invest.
The way that we manage our money influences every aspect of our lives, and yet no one ever formally teaches it to us.
I'm Lindsay. I've been living paycheck to paycheck. I'm trying to break out of this cycle.
I thought football was the only way to make money and make a lot of it. I ended up getting released. My world came crashing down. That made me take a step back and open my eyes up to my money.
We are earning a lot for the first time. We're also spending a lot.
You're spending $1,200 a month on groceries. That is banquet level spending.
I'm living the fear that if my heart were to break down, I don't know how we would buy another one.
How much did you splurge on a couple chains, couple earrings, a couple watches?
60.
Right now, if you would have put $60,000 into the S&P 500, would be $112,000.
Spending less is the quick and easy solution, but there's a limit to how much you can frugal down. There's no limit to how much you can make.
I'm getting a raise at work.
You're getting on the other side of, I like to call it post-traumatic broke syndrome. Sis, you know I've been there.
That is exactly what I'm feeling.
I feel like the definition of money has shifted.
The money is to help create the life that you really desire, and that is your reward for taking care of it.
It doesn't feel like this is something that's insurmountable anymore. I'm ready to do this work. I'm ready to get to the point of financial wholeness.